Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick little getting ready with me to go to work. A lot of people have been asking what I wear on my face when I go to work or when I'm going out, and I just need to do a little something. So I'll show you what I do, but I also will show you what underpainting is, because it's a really cool technique to make everything look very natural. Okay, to start out, I like to do a little thin layer of my Danessa Myricks blurring balm powder in the shade Universal. I'm pretty oily, so I need something that's gonna help mattify and reduce any kind of shine. And because this is a balm to powder formula, it does a really great job at just keeping everything blurred and keeping everything mattified, so I'm not having a lot of shine come through. So I just do that in the T-zone where I have a lot of shine, a little bit on the forehead. And it's okay to use your fingers for this, because again, I'm just applying like a very thin layer. All right, to start the underpainting process, I like to start with a cream blush. So pulling out my little bag of tricks, I got my Nude Sticks cream blush stick, and I'll apply this on my cheekbones to get that blush action started. So I like to smile and kind of press in an upward motion to add lift to the face. See where the apples of the cheeks are, and then go in a diagonal direction to really give a lot of lift to the face. And then we're gonna blend. So we're just gonna press that into the skin to really kind of buff that all out. Again, it's okay if you look a little crazy because we're gonna go over foundation with this. So it's really gonna just give you a nice natural flush. So don't be afraid. We're doing okay. So next, I like to take my Fenty Beauty contouring stick, and this is in the shade Amber. So it's a nice cool tone shade that's really good for me, especially this time of year. I like to find where the rounds of the cheeks are, where it starts to form on the back of the head. And I like to do kind of like a straight line, almost to the nose, to really lift the face upwards. And I'm gonna do that to the other side too, and then I'm gonna blend them all together. And really pressing it into the cheek hollow, right at the bottom of that blush. And to blend, I like to use a nice full body foundation brush like this. This one's from Fenty Beauty, because it has a nice density to it, so you really can buff everything out without really compromising you shearing things out, because the density of this is gonna keep that product onto the face rather than absorbing into the bristles. And you can really see kind of a difference. So I'm also gonna do a little bit of contouring on my jaw. So to really sharpen it up, I'm gonna go directly underneath where the natural jawbone is to provide more depth. I don't do the entire jaw length, I really just do kind of just the front. Okay, and you can already see that the face is looking a little snatched. It's still looking a little crazy because the pigment of the blush is really coming through. But again, like, this is all underpainting. So once we go over with the foundation, it's gonna really make it look nice and natural. I promise, just stick around. All right, so next in my bag of tricks is my tried and true foundation. It's the Ultra Latant from Chanel. This is Chanel's full coverage foundation, which it's not gonna be super full coverage like a MAC or like a double wear from Estee Lauder, but this is gonna give you really good coverage. It also has a lot of blurring powders in the formula. So even though it's a full coverage, it doesn't feel super heavy. It's very lightweight, and it really does a good job at making the skin look like an Instagram filter. And you're gonna see what I mean. So I'm gonna do just one pump on the back of the hand. And again, take my foundation brush and just get a little bit on there. And I like to just cut where I put the blush, like cut it in half on both sides. Like that, where you see these two crazy lines. And then I'm just gonna blend downwards. A lot of the focus on just the center of the face, because that's where I feel like most people need a lot of coverage. Bring it down to the neck. Most people don't really need a lot on the forehead. So what I like to do with any residual product that I have, I like to do a nice sweeping motion on the forehead, on the nose, in the smile lines, because adding a lot of product in those smile line areas is gonna crease a lot. So doing it kind of on the cheeks, not so much in the center of the face and a little bit on the forehead. It's gonna really reduce any kind of smile lines and any kind of creasing. So you see, like, so you have these kind of crazy lines. I'm just gonna blend those out, just right at the edge. And how we were blending the blush out, it's the same kind of thing. You're just gonna keep bouncing. So as one of my friends at work likes to say, you're gonna bounce that ass, bounce that ass. Shout out to Idia, because she is a real one for saying that, because it's the truth. Yeah, we're kind of just gonna blend out all over. And you can already see, like, there's a huge difference. The skin's skinning, the blush isn't so intense, it gives like a nice natural flow. And then we're gonna go on to the next step. Next thing I like to do is I like to give a little bit of highlighting. So this is something that I don't do underneath. As underpainting, you absolutely could, but I like to do it on top because I really like to accentuate the high points of my face and really build dimension. So I have this really nice cream highlighting stick from RCMA in the shade Champagne. And this is so pigmented, you really just need a little tiny little bit. So I like to just kind of dab my finger on it and place on the high points of my face. And just dab it on with the finger. And the reason why I really like to do my highlighting with my fingers as an applicator is because you really can feel where those bones are. So the high cheekbones, the brow bones, the temple bone, you really can feel where those areas are, so that's where you can place the highlighter. And then you can already kind of see that there's a nice definition there with the highlighter and the contour and the blush. As you do in life, just rule of thumb, anytime you use a liquid or a cream, you always want to set it with a powder to make it long lasting and also to keep it from moving around. So going back into my bag of tricks, I have my powder blush from NARS in the famous Orgasm. And so you putting the blush, a powder blush on top, is not only going to set it, but it's also going to reinforce the color that you place underneath. So it is going to give you more of that pigmentation and more of kind of like a blush feel. And I'm just going to go over right where I placed the cream blush and just kind of pat it in. Same thing with the contour. We have my powder contour palette here. And we're just going to reinforce the contour with a nice angled brush like this. Same thing with the blush. I like to use a nice angled brush because it really lends itself really well to getting that upward motion. Okay, and as a last step, we like to reinforce everything and give longevity to the makeup. So in my last little bag of tricks here, I got my Laura Mercier loose powder in transparent. So we're just gonna kiss that all over the face with my nice fluffy powder brush. We like to just kind of load up the brush, as so, and then mill it into the lid. Tap off any excess and then just roll it onto the face and pressing. When you press and roll, because we milled this powder brush with the loose powder, when you press, it's gonna expand the bristles and it's gonna release powder onto the face. And rolling it really ensures that you're pressing the powder into the face without necessarily moving the makeup. Because if you do swiping motions, then you are gonna move the makeup slightly, especially those powders that you just placed on. But when you're pressing and rolling, it's not gonna move anything. And I do like to emphasize a little kissing motions into the T-zone where I'm extra shiny, just to ensure that I can reduce that shine. And that's it. Underpainting. So now I'm gonna go throw on my clothes for work and then we'll be good to go. Okay, I lied. So we're actually gonna finish off with my Skins and Navia finishing spray. This is from the same people, like these people make the Urban Decay setting sprays, and we already been knew how good they are. So these are the people who make it. So I like to finish off a little spritz, just to ensure that nothing is moving and that I can be good all night long. So I don't have to keep, looking in the mirror, checking to see if I'm a mess or not. So, okay, now we're ready. We're good to go. Either work or a night out. And this is just a basic face that's gonna keep you looking good.